Bigg Boss 2 in 2008 was the second season of the Indian reality TV program Bigg Boss. It began airing on August 21, 2008 on Colors. Shilpa Shetty replaced Arshad Warsi as host of the show. 14 hand-picked housemates entered during the launch and were described newsmakers rather than celebrities, though the majority of the contestants were associated with Bollywood or Indian TV channels and other realities shows. The housemates, considered strangers for each other, spent 98 days or nearly 14 weeks locked up together under one roof under the 24/7 supervision of 32 cameras fitted around the Bigg Boss house at Lonavala, a hill station about 100 kilometers east of Mumbai. On the second day of the show, the British guest on exchange in the house, Jade Goody, walked out of the Bigg Boss house due to the revelation that she had developed cancer. On day 30 of the show, an additional entry to the house was made in the form of Diana Hayden, who was the 15th contestant of the reality game show. The show topped the rating charts in its last week due to a voluntary exit by a popular housemate, Rahul Mahajan. The season lasted for 98 continuous days in total, ending with the finale on November 22, 2008. Ashutosh Kaushik emerged as the winner, going away with an award of Rs1 crore. Raja Chaudhary was the runner-up of the show. Rahul Mahajan won the AVOUVA car as he was selected as the Bada Dilwala of the show. Housemates, Rahul Mahajan and Sambhavana Shith returned to compete in Bigg Boss Halibol. They became the third and fourth housemate to get evicted on day 21 and 24 respectively. Housemates, Arzan Qureshi is a stand-up comedian and finalist of the Great Indian Laughter Challenge Season 1. Arzan also acted in a Bollywood movie. Alina Alina Wadaiwala is an Indian model and has done a small role in Mani Raishnam's film Guru. Ashutosh Kaushik is a model and winner of MTV Roadies Season 5, who comes from the small town of Saharanpur. He emerged as the winner of the show. Debojit Saha is a singer, and winner of Zari Ga Ma Part Challenge 2005. Diana Hayden is a model and former Miss World of 1997 who was also the runner-up for Miss India. She was also seen in the movie ABBAS with Shawar Ali. Jade Goody was a British television celebrity who appeared on Big Brother 3 in the UK in 2002, and Celebrity Big Brother in 2007, where an alleged bullying situation took place between her and Bigg Boss host Shilpa Shetty. On day 2 of the show, Goody left the house after it was revealed she had cervical cancer. She died on March 22, 2009. Gtaki Dave is a TV actress who became popular with her role in Kyunki Zaz by Kabhi Bahu Thai. She also worked in some Bollywood movies, most notable movie Kal Ho Na Ho as Saif Ali Khan's mother. Monica Bedi is a former starlet and the ex-girlfriend of Underworld Don Abu Salem. It is rumored that because of her connection with Underworld she got roles in movies like Jodi No. 1, Janam Samjha Karo and Fire Ishq Mohabbat. She also has a short role in Had Kar Di or App. Payal Rohatgi is an actress who has worked in movies including 36 Chinatown and Corporate, Toll, Dil Kabaddi. Rahul Mahajan is the only son of politician Pramod Mahajan and former pilot. He has produced TV shows in Delhi. Rahul was reportedly admitted to a hospital for drugs overdose right after his father's death in May 2006. In a more recent controversy, his newly wedded wife Sweeta claimed to the media that she was being abused by Rahul. In August 2008, 2 weeks before his joining Bigg Boss, they got divorced. Rahul made a voluntary exit in the last week of the show. He won a car on the last day and was named the Bada Dilwala of the show. Raja Chaudhary is a Bojai actor and the ex-husband of the actress Shweta Tiwari. He was the runner-up of the show. Rakhi Vajan is a TV actress famous for her portrayal as Sweetie in handpicked. She also played a small role in the movie Golmaal Returns. Sambhavana Shith is an actress and item girl. She has also appeared in Bojarai films. Sanjay Sanjay Nirupam is a politician and a member of the Congress Party. Zulfi Zulfi Syed is an actor and model hailing from southern state Karnataka. He starred in an Urdu movie which is released in Pakistan and India, Akbar Khan's Taj Mahal, in the controversial movie Dishtri. Zulfi also acted in other Bollywood movies in small roles. Zulfi is the second runner-up of Bigg Boss Season 2. Guests. Sana Wadaiwala Sana is a twin sister of housemate Alina, where both are identical twins. At the end of Week 5 on Day 33, when Alina was later evicted from the house, Bigg Boss introduced Sana into the house for a while by replacing Alina. She was to impersonate Alina, and if she could do so for a whole day, Bigg Boss announced that she may be introduced into the house as a regular housemate beside Alina. Sana's entry remained short-lived as her impersonation was quickly identified by the housemates. Abhishek Bachchan Bollywood actor Abhishek Bachchan entered the house for a while as a guest during the eviction process on Day 40 at the end of Week 6. Abhishek was promoting his upcoming Bollywood film Drona. Cut is the name of a Labrador puppy who was sent into the house as a task for the contestants. Ravi Kishan Ravi Kishan was sent into the house for some time. Ravi Kishan was part of Bigg Boss. Jumbo, an elephant was sent on the last day to the Bigg Boss house to promote the upcoming movie, Jumbo. Akshay Kumar Bollywood actor Akshay Kumar was sent on the last day to the Bigg Boss house. He also announced the winner. Weekly summary. Nominations table. Nomination notes 1 for all the up for eviction candidates who are voted by the housemates every week to face public vote for eviction. The numbers in the bracket indicate. 2 Jade left the house due to medical reasons. 3 Ashutosh, Alina and Sambhavana were not allowed to nominate this week as punishment from Bigg Boss for breaking house rules. 4 Through a successful weekly task, Bigg Boss gave Raja a special privilege to name one person who would be nominated for eviction for Week 4 irrespective of nomination vote count. Raja named Gtaki. Gtaki also received 3 nominations from other housemates by normal voting process. Raja remained immune from nomination for Week 4. 5 During a heated verbal exchange between Sambhavna and Raja a day prior to nomination day, Bigg Boss found Raja guilty of breaking important house rules on the account of use of foul language. As a warning to all housemates and as a penalty for Raja, Bigg Boss himself nominated Raja for eviction and banned him from using his nomination right for Week 5. On other accounts of breaking house rules such as falling asleep during afternoons, Bigg Boss conducted the nomination voting process for Week 5 in open group as against the usual process that takes place individually within the secrecy of the confession room. The numbers in the individuals box above show the order in which Bigg Boss asked the members to declare their 2 nominations along with their reasons in front of all other housemates. Diana Hayden entered the house Monday after the nomination process for Week 5 was over, and so she remained exempt for Week 5. 6 The night before the nomination day, Rahul disconnected the loudspeakers from men's bedroom. Raja raised the protest to Bigg Boss, citing Rahul's act as a violation of an important house rule and demanded similar penalty as he was given the week before for a house rule violation. Bigg Boss found Rahul guilty. Bigg Boss himself nominated Rahul and he was also banned from voting for Week 6. 7 Following his fake eviction, Raja Chaudhary spent the weekend in the secret room of the Bigg Boss house and thus remained away and exempt from the nominations for Week 7. 8 Monica Bedi got a wild card entry to re-enter the Bigg Boss house after being voted in by the people. Monica entered the house after the nomination process for Week 8 was over. She thus remained exempt from the nominations. 9 Bigg Boss gathers the entire house in the living area and observes that despite numerous earlier warnings to individuals for breaking important house rules such as planning for nominations, the housemates continued disobeying the rules through the 9th week running. Bigg Boss finds each and every member of the house guilty of this disobedience, namely, discussing, revealing or planning for nominations. For Week 10, Bigg Boss withdraws the normal nomination voting process by the housemates. Instead, Bigg Boss nominates the entire house, all 7 members, up for eviction for Week 10. For Week 11, Bigg Boss announced to the public that on the occasion of Diwali that falls during the said week, no housemate would be evicted from the Bigg Boss house at the end of Week 11. This was in spite of nomination voting process conducted as usual by housemates at the start of the week. The housemates remained unaware of this decision and twist by Bigg Boss. The voting lines remained closed for the public for Week 11. Starting the nominations voting process, Bigg Boss announced that as per his knowledge the housemates like discussing, deciding and divulging nominations a lot, which is also breaking of an important house rule. Thus, Bigg Boss called for an open nominations for Week 12. The numbers in the individuals box above show the order in which Bigg Boss asked the housemates to declare in front of all other housemates their 2 nominations along with their reasons. 12 On Saturday, day 91. All housemates protested, stating that they did not have adequate food items available to them in the house for cooking, and all the 4 left the Bigg Boss house by jumping over the compound wall. Later, all were reintroduced into the house by Bigg Boss after a discussion with the show producers. Citing this event as a breach of an important house rule, Bigg Boss announced to conduct nomination process for the final week. Each housemate was called into the confession room to name 1 person for eviction along with reasons. Rahul and Zulfi nominated Raja during their individual turns. Raja and Ashutosh individually named Zulfi the same way. Raja and Zulfi were declared as nominated for eviction by Bigg Boss for the final week. After Rahul walked out of the Bigg Boss house on day 93, the nominations were cancelled on day 94. All remaining housemates remained up for eviction and face public vote for the final on day 98. On Saturday, day 98, Ashutosh Kaushik was announced as winner of Bigg Boss 2. See also, Bigg Boss, 2006 season of Bigg Boss. Bigg Boss, 2009 season of Bigg Boss. Big Brother, the parent format of Bigg Boss. Reality television, Endemol India, producer and format owner for Bigg Boss, who also produces other reality TV in India such as The Great Indian Laughter Challenge, Fear Factor, Katrin K. Kaladi, Jo Jeeta Superstar, and Deal Ya No Deal. References. External links: Bigg Boss Season 3, Bigg Boss Season 8.